This is Advanced English 2. Lesson 1. Pub Talk and the King's English. Here we have a map of Europe. As you may guess, we're going to learn the development of English through European history. First, let's get a review from the last lesson. From the last time, we learned something about the history of English. Basically, there are 3 stages. The first stage is the Old English, the so-called Anglo-Saxon English period. The second stage is the Middle English, French-influenced English period. And the last stage is the Modern English period. So in this time, we're going to focus mainly on stage 2, the Middle English, French-influenced English period. This is William the Conqueror. So we know that in the year 1066, William the Conqueror, the Duke of Normandy, invaded and conquered England in a famous Norman conquest. In this battle, William nearly covered everywhere on the island, and at last he was crowned in London. So William represents the Norman conquerors. They speak French. They belong to the upper class in the society. And these are the Saxon Charles. They speak Anglo-Saxon words, the Old English. Since they lost in the battle, they belong to the lower class in the society. Since then, the language barrier occurred. The best-known example is actually from the table. When we talk of meat on our tables, we use French. When we talk of the animals, we use Anglo-Saxon words. So here we have a series of examples. It is pig in the field, and it becomes porc on the table, porc in French. It's cattle, and it's beef on the table, boeuf in French. Chicken later becomes poultry, poulet in French. Calf becomes veal, veau in French. So these are the French words. And these are the French-influenced English. We can see there are many similarities in between. What all this tells us is a deep class rift in the culture of England after the Norman conquest. And also ever since 14th century, English became dominant in Britain again, but with many French words added. And there is also something interesting to notice. Because the Saxon peasants who tilled the land could not afford the meat, which all went to the Norman tables. They were only allowed to eat the rabbits that scampered over the fields. And the meat was cheap, whereas the Normans never wanted cheap meat. So, rabbit maintains to be rabbit in English and not changed into lapin in French. No wonder French people almost always turn up their noses at English. Actually, we can never separate totally between English and French. They are good friends. They are just like a family. So let's check for this lesson. Through this lesson, we learn the development of English through European history and 3 major stages in English history. Still, we have to identify the class rift in the society from the development of language. In this lesson, we see the vivid change and development of English through European history. At last, people blew on this language as on a dandelion clock to every corner of the world. Thank you. See you next time.